and then down into the trash can. I swear. I've never seen anything like it. Hey, everybody, welcome, welcome. It is Monday night. Welcome to MCU Mondays. Are we live? Are we live,
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes.
Awesome. We are live. We have no problems thus far. We have no problems.
Don't jinx us.
I'm not going to jinx this at all. But so far,
We'll
we
get
don't have
about
any.
halfway through and realize it just went out. We got to do the
Andrew's
first
house
half
sitting,
again.
so your mom's not there. You don't have to worry about
Nope.
Fortnite being played. He's got some spectacular lighting, makes us look awesome. So, man, we're ready to go for MCU Mondays. We are ready to go. But we're not talking about Deadpool tonight. We're back on Daredevil. But we want to kind of look at some of the MCU news we've had over the last couple of weeks. I know we touched on it a little bit last week, and we went way long last week too. What was our runtime last week? An hour and a half?
Yeah, just about.
Almost,
Okay.
yeah.
And we
There's a lot to talk about, though.
Yeah.
It was Deadpool. Come on.
It was Deadpool. We had a special guest on. If you didn't see last week's episode, go see last week's episode. It was a blast. We had a lot of fun doing it. It was the Deadpool episode for Deadpool and Wolverine. Chris Cassidy, It's a Vase Productions, came back. He was a special guest. And man, we had a lot of fun. He's the former host of MCU Mondays. And it's always a blast when he's on. So had a great time with him last week. And so if you didn't get to see last week's episode, wait till we're done with this week's episode and then go back and watch last week's episode. So you may make sure you get this
Which
week's
is
stuff.
doing really well right now. It's at over 100 views.
There you go. There you go. So go check it out. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, so we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the stuff that's coming. I want to talk a little bit more before we get into Daredevil. I want to talk a little bit more about some of the stuff that came out from this recent San Diego Comic-Con. I know we touched on a little bit of it, and I know there's been some more stuff that has come out since then. Luke doesn't seem very happy about the way the Fantastic Four is being handled. He doesn't
In
like
what way?
He doesn't like the way that they're doing a retro 60s thing.
Oh, I think it looked kind of cool.
I said it worked for WandaVision.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it work for this?
I think they'll eventually, somehow, some way, who knows how,
The multiverse.
They'll come into present MCU, whatever that is, because
or Mephisto. It's Mephisto.
I don't know. I'm ready to be over the multiverse. People, I'm old. I can't keep track of all this stuff.
Well, it's like I told you, I put in the chat the other day that the Marvel's post-credit scene takes place in the same universe as Deadpool and Wolverine, and that just about, I mean,
well, that was
just confused you,
I saw that, and I saw what was the other one? Takes place in the same thing as Deadpool, Wolverine. You've got Wolverine in his yellow and blue costume too. Somebody had posted said was they're finally getting and Gambit was one of them. They're finally getting the X-Men characters into their comic accurate costumes.
Mm-hmm.
So, which I mean, whatever.
I think it's kind of cool to see that happen.
Oh, that's why. It's fine. Again, I like the X-Men, but I want a reboot. I want a reboot of the X-Men. I want them to. I don't want them to use Kelsey Grammer and Hugh Jackman and Halle Berry and God, what was her name that played Rogue? Was that girl from the Vampire?
I don't remember.
That girl from the Vampire show.
Oh, True Blood.
Whatever. Yeah. I don't want those X-Men. I want a new batch of X-Men that are going to do 3 or 4 or 5 movies and be happy. I definitely don't want Jennifer Lawrence, who's gonna do like 2 and then phone it in after that. So
Yeah. Well,
Henry
especially after a
Cavill.
Dark Phoenix. I mean, Jennifer Lawrence in Dark Phoenix, you could tell she just did not care
oh
when
yeah.
she was
Oh
acting,
yeah.
you know. So
Well, and it was I think Cavill would be good. I like the idea of Henry Cavill. The only thing that
Cavalrine.
the only thing that bothers me, and it's not really a bad bothers me about him, but the fact that he is such a nerd, such a geek, and he did this with The Witcher too, to where if they stray too far from the source material, he's gonna say, "Screw it, I'm done. I'm not gonna do it anymore." And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But that means that if you're going to have Henry Cavill as Wolverine, you need to get some writers on there that are going to not word for the source material, but stay fairly close to the what happened in the actual stories. Enough
I
to where you're
wonder
not
though,
enough to where you're not going to piss Henry Cavill off. Don't piss Henry Cavill off.
Thing is,
and
MCU
they
doesn't
still.
do that anyways.
I was gonna say that the movies is a separate from the comics. You know,
Well, and
like
that's
the
true.
you
And
know.
but the same. It's like building a house. You know, you can have a house and it burns down, but the foundation is still there, and you can build another house, and that's fine. And I think that's what the MCU is doing. They've got this
Yeah,
foundation. They've got a basic storyline, and they tell their own story, but they maintain that basic storyline.
that's true.
And I think I think Henry Cavill would be fine with that. I think he would look at that and go, okay, it's not exactly right, but him being a geek would be, oh, this is a different universe. This is an MCU universe versus comic book universe,
I,
but it's the same basic storyline. So
I think after the way he was treated as Superman, he would be happy to have uh people that you know most of the time they care about the story and it's all leading to one place. You know, the DCEU was sort of all over. MCU is
what do you mean,
it
sort of
all, you know.
all over? It was
It
all
was
over.
right, yeah. That's true, yeah. So I think he would like having that everything ties in kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
So
because I mean, Hugh is 54,
that's the other
Wow.
thing.
and
We need to get some younger people in there.
He looks better at
and
54 than I do at 19. I got to start lifting weights.
yeah,
Yeah.
but what he
I
puts
tell
his
you what,
body
though.
through to
Yeah.
get that
Oh, that's
ripped,
true. Yeah.
that
It's
is
not healthy.
torturous. That
Yeah,
is
And
torturous.
that
so
is
help
true.
me God, Andrew, we're not having you rip your shirt off on the show so you can show off
Oh, I wouldn't even want that. I wouldn't
your
even want to do
8-pack.
that. You don't want to see my 4-pack?
I've got a keg. No, I don't need a 6-pack. I got a keg.
I got an 8-pack like Batman. Uh-oh. Oh no, mom's in
Hi,
here.
Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Oh
Yes,
no. What a
I-
time to join.
I don't know if
We're talking
she's
about
I don't
ripping
know
my
if she's
shirt off.
laughing at you for your 8-pack or if she's laughing at me for my keg or both. Whatever.
She's gonna make fun of us.
That's fine. Whatever. Let me think. What other fun? Oh, Secret Wars. We've lost Kang Dynasty. We're back to Secret Wars and Doomsday, and oh, she's just laughing at all of us.
Well,
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. In fact, it got Luke so excited for Secret Wars that he went and dug up. He's got the Secret Wars trade paperback. So he went and dug through all of his comic books to find that trade paperback so he could reread it so he could be ready for when the movie comes out in like 4 years.
yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
3.
20, is it 3? Okay.
I think
Yeah.
it's 27.
Yeah.
Secret
So-
War or
Oh God.
Doomsday comes
Doomsday
out
is-
26,
yeah.
and then Secret Wars in 27.
Luke will be a senior.
I'll probably be dead.
Luke will be getting ready to
That'd be-
graduate high school when Secret
I'll
Luke,
be
I know you're probably not watching right now because you're at your grandmother's house, but you're going to be a senior in a high school You're going to be ready to graduate when Secret Wars comes out. You will be. It will be May of 2017, and you graduate in 2017
I'll be ready to
or
retire.
2027.
I was like 2017.
20,
That
27.
already happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cody.
jeez.
Cody, my oldest son, graduated in 17. So,
Okay.
man, craziness. All right. Anything else? Was there anything else that was just amazing and outstanding that we caught from?
Well, I was gonna say the Nicolas Cage stuff, but I don't think that's amazing per se.
Oh, well, go ahead and say it. That
Well,
they hinted at Nick
the
Cage.
yeah, there was an interview on Collider with Ryan Reynolds, and he was asked about so the ex-member of Sony's wing of Marvel was Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider. When asked if the team had ever thought of bringing Cage in to reprise his role as Ghost Rider, Reynolds gave a simple yes, adding that things came to a conversation for sure, yeah, but no. For a man known for his outgoing personality, Reynolds kept a pretty tight lip on further details surrounding the interaction with the legendary movie star.
He probably wanted buku bucks.
He probably did.
Yeah.
Or something.
But
Yeah.
you know what though? Honestly, I mean, he probably did. But on the same token, I mean, Nick Cage. It is a well-known fact that Nick Cage is also a geek, and Ghost Rider is his favorite character. That was, I mean, I think he's got a Ghost Rider tattoo that he had to have covered up in the movies because you can't have a tattoo of yourself portraying yourself. But anyway, so Nick, and that was why he wanted to play Ghost Rider in those movies because he's such a huge fan of Ghost Rider. And I thought those movies, well, the first movie was okay. The second one was kind of not, but
That's
we
being kind.
we've never talked about those movies, Debbie.
Huh?
We've never
There's a
talked about
reason.
those movies.
I know. That
All
that
right.
should be on our list.
We need to think about that.
And we got to talk about Blade. We got to do the Blade trilogy.
We already did. We did the Blade trilogy with Chris. I'm sorry, you were not around. Maybe we can revisit it one of these days. Yeah. No, don't do that. You make our screen look bad again.
Fine. I'll just walk off.
But no, it's we could revisit Blade, I guess. Anyway, but yeah, that would surprise me that to where he would say, "No, I'm not going to do it unless you pay me umpteen gazillion dollars." To where he's such a big fan, he would say, "Heck yeah, I'll do it for free, just because I want to do it again." So, I think if I was a huge Hollywood actor and there was one role that I really really liked doing, not one that I really like doing like Hugh Jackman to where it's like I've done it like 10 times, but like Nick Cage to where it's like I really enjoyed those roles and I know they're not going to make any more movies or I'm not going to make any more of those Ghost Rider movies. So if I could revisit the character, I think there would be one of those ones to where I was like, I've got millions of dollars already. You can donate my salary for this movie to something or another, and I'll come do it and just give my money to somebody else that needs it.
He'll probably appear in Secret Wars, I'm sure.
Uh, I think Secret
Maybe.
Wars is gonna. I think Secret Wars is gonna deal strictly. You're talking about Ghost Rider, or are you talking about Nick Cage as Ghost
Uh,
Rider?
yeah, Nick Cage is Ghost Rider.
I don't. I don't think so. I think. See, I think the two new Avengers movies are gonna stick strictly to current MCU characters. So it won't be. I think, and I share Debbie's sentiment. I think we're done with multiverse at this point. I think Deadpool was gonna close up the multiverse saga, and we can leave it in our rearview mirror and say good riddance to bad rubbish. So
Yeah, that's true.
I hope not. I hope Secret Wars is strictly characters that have been introduced. Now, I wouldn't mind seeing some of these characters that we've had introduced in like end credit scenes making appearances. You know, you've got Hercules, you've got I don't even remember all of them. The chick from Doctor
That's true.
Strange. You've got the guy from the
Oh, yeah.
Eternals. You know, there've been a slew of characters that have been introduced in post credit scenes, and it's like, oh, when are we going to see this? You had the Black Knight that was from Hawkeye. You know, I mean, obviously Blade is. I guess Blade is not shelved anymore. Is that still kind of on the docket? And we're just it's kind of in limbo at this point.
I don't know.
There's only going to be one Blade.
they ought to just bring Wesley back at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't understand what the hell's going on with that movie. It's been delayed so much. Different writers been fired, directors have been fired. I'm like,
Yeah, the only constant is the guy playing Blade.
I'm like,
Right. It's gone
what
like,
is-
what,
what
4 or
is
5
making this-
rewrites? Something like
what's
that.
making this movie so difficult? I just don't get it. Is it Disney higher ups that don't like the stories, or Kevin doesn't like the stories? What's going on? I want to know what's going on behind the scene, because I was kind of excited for it. Now I really don't give a flying rat's butt about it. Let's try and be nice for Andrew's mom.
Oh, I doubt she's still watching. You never know. She might pop
You
up.
never
and say,
know.
You never
You never know.
know.
That's true.
Well, if she's watched me enough, she ought to know. I got a sailor's mouth. But anyway, yeah, I
That's
just
true.
yeah, at this point, I really don't care. If it pops up, great, I'll go see it, but I don't care no more.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's all of that. The future of the MCU. We had obviously RDJ back. We've got the Russo brothers directing the 2 new Avengers movies, which is amazing. Anakin and Obi-Wan are behind me fighting. So, and
Well, last week
I'm
was
sitting in the high ground right now, so neither one of them can have the high ground.
Obi-Wan's gonna take you out.
I don't know, maybe. So,
I mean, last week was a great week to be a Marvel fan. You have RDJ returning, Chris Evans returned, Russo
Yep.
brothers returning. Does it keep where? Does it get any better
Well,
than that?
and you got this week. Yeah, because we got D23 coming up Friday.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. That's
So
This
there
is-
could be more Marvel announcements.
I honestly hope, and this will be for Thursday's show. We've got D23 coming up. I want a Skeleton Crew trailer or teaser.
yeah, I know.
Something.
It's long overdue.
I mean, this is a show that starts in just a couple of months, few months. What, 3
November.
months? November, yeah. And it's
Yeah.
August already.
December.
December
Oh, is
3rd.
it December? Okay.
Yeah, December 3rd. Yeah.
Still 6 months.
Yeah, less than
I
I
6
mean, we
months.
got trailers for stuff that's not coming out until next year.
I know.
We got a trailer
Exactly.
for Force Awakens 1 year before it came out. A year.
You got a trailer for Falcon and the Winter Soldier in July that's coming out in February. I mean, come on.
You
Not
mean
Falcon
Captain
and the-
America?
Captain America, new World
What did I
Order,
say?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I was
Whatever.
like, that's
same
already out.
thing.
That's already out.
Eh. What?
I can go watch that
Oh,
right
I
now.
missed it. Dang it. I got a few. I think I got a few bolts loose from the brain.
So- Anyway, a lot of good stuff. D23 is coming up on Saturday, so I'm sure we will have some more news for you next week right here on MCU Mondays. But until then, we're going to go ahead and talk about Daredevil. And with Daredevil, I was going to show. Let me see if I can find my Daredevil intro here.
No.
20 minutes into the episode.
Never mind. Never mind. Debbie says no. We have reasons. But let's talk about Daredevil. I saw a chat pop up Hello, sir.
Hey,
How are you?
Volvo. Hey.
So this episode has been haunting me. I watched it last night and all day today I've had an earworm because of this episode. This episode was titled The Man in the Box, and I have been singing Man in the Box from Alice in Chains all friggin' day. All day. It's just been buzzing through my mind. I can't get it out of my head. I've even listened to the song like 3 times because, usually if you have an earworm or something like that and you hear it, you're like, "Okay, I'm done with it." I can't get rid of it because I keep thinking back to the episode. I'm like, "There's that song again." Oh, and that song had absolutely nothing to do with the episode, but other than the titles are the same. So, um, great episode. We got Rosario Dawson back, which I'm sure made Debbie happy. And in fact, she had a lot of interaction with Matt, and she's Matt's voice of reason in this one. And she has one of the. There was a scene in Blazing Saddles where he said, "Quick, guys, we'll head them off at the pass." And he says, "Head them off at the pass. I hate that cliche," and shoots him in the foot. And she uses one of these cliches that I cannot stand. I hate it when she said, "It's always the last place that you look." And I'm like, well, yeah, it's always the last place that you look because you found it. So obviously it's going to be the last place that you look. I hate that cliche. I hate it. It pains me. But anyway, that was the only problem I had with her character in this episode. Voice of reason to Matt. She got him to go. Foggy got injured in this one, and I think honestly he would have gone down there and seen Foggy had the ninjas not attacked everything.
Yeah, you got the ninjas and you got the zombie kids, and
Yeah,
all hell was breaking loose.
It was zombie children of the corn thing going on.
And then you had somebody who was making people think he was Frank, shooting people up.
And
Bye, Reyes.
Oh yeah. I guess that made Debbie happy too. And honestly, too, I mean, you got to think that the whole episode, it's got to be him because those are targets that he would go after. And then when he shows up at Karen's house, and he's like, "I didn't do it," and then all of a sudden Karen's apartment, I should say, and then all of a sudden Karen's apartment gets shot to crap. It's like, oh well, maybe he's not doing it. Makes perfect sense now. He's not doing it. And you've got Fisk. God, I love Wilson Fisk. It's not Wilson. It's what's his name? D'Onofrio.
Wilson.
Huh? No, it's just Vincent D'Onofrio. I got a man crush on Vincent D'Onofrio. He's awesome. Yes, he is Wilson, but he's also a bunch
Kingpin.
of other. I know, but he's also a bunch of other things. He was in Men in Black. He was in Full Metal Jacket.
Jurassic World.
Jurassic World.
Echo.
Yeah, he's just been well, but he played the same character, so that doesn't count.
I know.
I'm just saying. What's the Law and Order? Was it Criminal Intent? Was that the Law and Order he was in? I think was Criminal Intent.
I don't remember. There's so many of those.
He was in a Law and Order series, and not just one episode. I mean, like he was the main driver behind it. So, yeah, he's amazingly awesome. And if you don't think so, then you're wrong, and that's all there is to it. But you see Fisk in prison, and I mean he's got guys standing outside of his cell guarding him. He's got the music playing while he's delicately eating his meal that is meticulously prepared. drinking his wine out of the paper cup. I mean, we can get wine and fine foods, but we can't get glass in prison, I guess. I'll let you figure that one out. Um, I like how Matt comes in and threatens
Vanessa.
Vanessa with $6 worth of postage. I could make sure she never sets foot in the United States again. And then
Fisk just totally flips out.
yeah, beat the crap out of him. And
I don't know how his glasses did not get broken because Fisk slammed his head down on the desk at least 3 times.
at least,
But his
minimum.
glasses never broke or fall off. The
Hey,
hell's up with that?
My glasses are pretty strong. I've had my head banged.
But even still, they didn't even.
Yeah, I mean,
But you know what? Though that makes you're right, Andrew. Because glasses, because they're not like glued to your face. Because I wear glasses. I used to wear glasses in all the time. And if your head got banged and you were wearing glasses, the glasses won't break unless there's like a direct impact to those glasses. But the first thing those glasses are going to do are going to fall off. And
or they get pushed way up in your face, and not comfy.
it's gonna mess his face up before it'll mess the glasses up. But at least on the first slam, his glasses I would have thought would have fallen off his face.
I think they might have
guess
been
it depends on the
slightly
nose.
crooked, but that was about
Yeah.
it.
askew.
Maybe it depends on the nose piece too. If you've got just like a plastic nose piece that just sits on your nose, it'll fall off with wind. If you've got
Yeah.
like a more, I don't know what it's called, but mine don't just fall off. So
Man, I can sneeze
where I don't
sometimes,
know where
and
I
my
was going with
glasses will come all the way down.
So again, I liked that Fisk is kind of getting an idea of who Matt is now. Especially because he was eating and he was like, "Oh, he hurt me.
Mm,
He hurt me.
that feels familiar.
Give me everything you've got on this Matthew Murdoch."
Yeah, I'm sure that punch felt slightly familiar to him.
And of course,
imagine getting punched so many times you can recognize punches. You know, like I mean, like I don't know.
or not getting. Do you see him in the back there? I figured
Yeah.
that's what- the little one won't leave that big one alone. The big one doesn't want anything to do with the little one, and the little one won't leave her alone. Mangy beasts. Anyway,
audio listeners are going to be so confused.
Yeah. If you're listening on audio, my 2 cats are right behind me, and they're fighting with they're fighting.
playing.
They're fighting with each other. They've got the octagon going on back there, and it's quite amusing to see. So if you're listening audio, at some point turn on the video and go watch the video because it's funny. Yeah, so we've got Fisk. He's kind of finding out who Matt is. You had Debbie. I want to know what your thoughts were when Matt and Karen spoke with each other outside of the courthouse before Reyes got shot. It was kind of I know we're broken up, and so how have you been? Oh, I'm fine. Are you seeing anyone? Yes, it's very nice. Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad you're happy.
I don't remember that. Maybe that's when I got up to get my McFlurry.
Oh,
I had a McFlurry in the refrigerator, so
Debbie saw Karen and went, "I'm gonna need some ice cream for this."
I need something to get me through. Although she wasn't bad in this episode.
No, she wasn't, and in fact, she she tried to keep I was gonna say because it was a turn for her because usually she's putting people in harm's way, and this time the newspaper guy was like, "Oh, go to the." I forgot what was she after? She was after what was she after in her apartment? Was
The
it
names of the other people that Frank might be after.
right?
The
So
nurses and
she goes after
whoever.
that, and she's like, "I'll do it myself." And no, I'm sending people with you. I'm sending policemen with you. Don't worry about it. And she's like, "No, don't." And it's almost like, don't put anybody else in danger, kind of thing. And no, you got
It
to.
didn't matter.
It didn't
Frank took him
matter.
out.
And Karen has the good sense to have a gun handy. No, we can't. I don't know that we could say gun on YouTube. She had a pew pew ready. How about that? She had a side.
No one
She had a
cares. You can say
side
gun.
She had a side piece.
arm.
She had a. She was warm. She was carrying.
She was packing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and of
Makes
course
me think of that line from Free Guy. Is that a Glock in your pocket? No, it's 2 Glocks. That may get us taken down. I don't know.
But that's when her apartment got shot up, and then of course Frank saves her and runs off. I loved Matt listening to the. He heard the gun. I said it again. He heard the pew pew chamber of the round. He said, "Get down," but it wasn't enough for Reyes or Foggy, for that matter.
Well, I got to give Reyes credit because she did come clean on her misgivings on.
She came clean. I think she came clean, and she was also very. She seemed very. She put the.
My son's leaving for work.
She put the. She pretty much put the. And a lot of this had to do with her daughter being threatened as well. With the. I don't care about putting you people out of my way anymore. I don't care about the threats that are going to jeopardize my career anymore. Now I'm more concerned about my daughter's life. And so it was kind of a turn for her. She jumped into her human side, I guess would be a good way to put it. And ultimately it was almost like, okay, she redeemed herself, and then it cost her everything.
Yeah, we find out that she was behind the sting operation that was going on between all the drug lords and cartels and whatnot, and she had an opportunity to clear the park of civilians, and she chose not to.
Yep.
I don't know how you can do that. Why? I mean, I know she said why, but
She said so. It would have given away our play, or given up our play, or something along that lines.
yeah, it would have. The cartels and whatever would have been suspicious.
Yeah. That's that's the biggest thing. You get all these cartels and stuff, and heck yeah, do it in the middle of the daytime in a crowded area. One, nobody cares because nobody's going to be paying attention to you. And two, you've got, for lack of a better term, civilian cover. You know that nobody's going to cause a firefight in the middle of, unless you're Reyes, but they're not going to start a firefight in the middle of a crowded area like that.
But they did, because the blacksmith, whoever the hell that is, didn't show up because he was the one that evidently
He was the one that they
this.
were after.
So, yeah,
And,
so everybody got itchy fingers and trigger fingers, and all hell broke loose. And that's how Frank's family got slaughtered.
got capped.
Unalived.
Yes, unalived. Okay.
think that's the PC term now.
Yes. And of course, and then we get to look at the X-ray again, the Frank skull, the big X-ray that Debbie said wasn't right. Didn't you say something about that? Why is it so big?
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
Frank does have a big head, but
he got a big nose. That's what he's got.
Full of thoughts.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to have a big head if you've got a big brain like me.
Hmm.
Just saying.
And then Electra got attacked.
Yeah, I thought we were done with her. And she got her. I always thought that was funny. So she gets her trademark size, which are the little daggers that she's kind of famous for, and she used those a lot in the Affleck version, and she used them a lot in the comic books. But they look really cool, and they're like, oh, these look like daggers, and they're really neat, and wow, 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 wow. But do you know that those are like defensive weapons? Those are not I'm going after you weapons. Those are I'm going to um defend myself against any attack that you have. And I only know that because uh, somebody put something out about the Ninja Turtles, and that's why Raphael has the size, because Raphael is the big brute, so he doesn't really need an offensive weapon. He is an offensive weapon. He needs something for defense. That's why he has this. I'll have to do some more research on that, but I'm pretty sure that's. But she gets the guy. Oh, the hand didn't send me. It was Stick. And then it rolled into credits, and David got pissed because I was like, "What a dumb spot to end!" Sickens me.
I think there's only a couple more episodes to this season, right?
There's
13?
there's 3 more episodes to this season. I think because I was looking at it last night.
So fast.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain because I was like, oh, there's only 3 more left. We're getting toward the end here. Oh, what else happened in this episode? Oh, Matt's going through some
shit.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it.
Guilt.
Well, it's guilt. It's almost like it's the Batman scenario where it's like I have to be Batman all the time because I can't be Bruce Wayne because Bruce Wayne has friends and they get in trouble. So if I'm Batman all the time, yeah, there's 3 episodes left. If I'm Batman all the time, then I don't have any friends and they don't get in trouble.
Well, yeah, and then he got all the law, the justice system, the law isn't doing anything. I mean, I put him away or whatever, and because he was talking about Fisk, because Fisk is still controlling things. He's got moving parts all over the city still, even though he's been incarcerated, and so he's very disillusioned with how things are going, and he's kind of throwing himself a little pity party, and so he thinks he needs to be Daredevil all the time and not have friends, not have
and I think he even went so far as to insinuate that he needs to be more aggressive as Daredevil too, Maybe he
Yeah.
needs to break that code that Frank has already broken. Break that. I want to bring them to justice, and that doesn't mean killing them. I'm not judge, jury, and executioner. I'll just bring them in and let the justice system figure it out. And Frank is more of a judge, jury, executioner kind of thing. So anyway, and then the ninjas are all scaling the building. They're looking for the children of the
Zombie
damned.
kids.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is oh, go ahead.
Claire was explaining that they had been completely drained, and what was in their system acting like blood really wasn't blood. It was some kind of a chemical makeup of
I
some
think it was
sort.
different chemicals per kid. I think one kid had one kid had one, and it was almost like they were. What did she say? It was they're an incubation chamber
Yeah.
for
Mhm.
these chemicals. Now,
How the hell does that work? I mean,
well, but
it's still
see,
got to work with your organs.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Well, that's why I'm saying it makes no sense medical wise, because it's like,
you work in a clinic, Debbie. You should
Okay,
be the one
Debbie.
that would
Okay,
know.
hold on just a
Yeah.
second before you try to start making sense out of this. We just had a ninja that Matt set on fire and burned alive that came back. He's back to life. And it has to do with these chemicals that are in these kids. So I guess what that all boils down to is this is fiction. It doesn't matter.
yeah, I think it has. Well, we know it has something to do with the hand, and they're trying to resurrect something or someone, if my memory serves me right.
They need to get it's there. Yeah, exactly. It's medical comic magic. It's a different universe. Different medical rules apply.
Well, I'm just thinking, if it's chemicals, I mean, if you got that much chemicals where there's no blood, how does that work with your kidneys and your heart and your lungs and liver?
You're also living in a world where a man builds a suit of armor and flies around, and they inject another man with chemicals and make him a super soldier, and another man gets zapped by gamma radiation and turns into a big green rage monster, and there's an alien out there running around shooting lightning out of his hammer. So I think we can take chemicals in the bloodstream a little and who's to say it's not there's still blood there. Maybe there's a little. You don't know.
Debbie's like, I got notes on how many times everyone should have died in this.
Now
I'm sorry. It's just how I'm not a nurse, I'm not a doctor, but it's just how my medical mind works. It's just, I watch medical shows all the time. And I'm like, that's not right.
so Debbie with medical shows is like me with like military style shows where you look at it and go, Oh, you were in the army. You know how to fly a helicopter, right? Yes, and I was trained as a ninja as well. I'm an army ninja. So, all right. Well, that's fine. I get it then. That makes sense.
It's not how the force works.
Not how the force works.
Oh, sorry. Wrong fandom.
Hey, how dare you cross-reference?
I liked it. Yeah, and the children of the damned kids. Those are. I could tell something. You could tell something was going on with them when the dad came in and where's my son? Where's my? I got you out of there. I saved you. And he looked at him like, why did you do that? It was almost like they had volunteered for it versus
Either that or they're in some kind of euphoric state. Maybe they liked being in cages all drugged
maybe
up or whatever.
they liked being the key masters and the gatekeepers.
And maybe they were told that, they were serving a higher, some of these cults or whatever, you're serving a higher purpose, this you're sacrificing yourself, and maybe they're so brainwashed they don't. I mean, the kid ended up killing his dad, so like, okay. Kind of
Yeah.
freaky.
Even though his dad had just rescued, well, his dad didn't rescue him, but he was there.
I don't know why they needed so many ninjas.
I don't know. But okay, that being said, if I'm standing on a roof, hold on, I've
What
got
have you
another
done,
rant
Debbie?
here.
What have you done, Debbie?
Because if I'm standing on a roof and I could be blind or I could be seeing. If I'm standing on a roof and I see grappling hooks come up and you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go watch those grappling hooks and then pull them off and go, woohoo! You just fell. You just fell. Instead, what does he do? He sits there and gets his gloves on and it's like, all right, let's get ready. They're coming. They're coming and I'm gonna get them all. It's like, throw them off the edge before they get there. That'll help.
I don't know if he's got knives on him, but he could have cut the ropes too. I didn't understand that either.
I mean, you might not get all of them. You might have to still fight one or two of them, but you cut your odds. I'm just saying. 5-on-1's a bad fight, but 2-on-1's a little bit better, and 1-on-1's even better.
Yeah, I thought it was a little odd. But it's Daredevil. We got to have him going up against 20 people. So
but too the ninjas
come out only needing stitches.
You've got to think too that the ninjas they're not gunning for him either, which means that they're probably not going to go all the way up the ropes. They're there to get those kids out of there. They are there to retrieve the children of the corn kids. So they're only going to go up to the window where those kids are at, get them, and then take them back down.
But they were all over that side of the building.
Yeah, why would they go all the way to the top? They shouldn't need to. And Matt's sitting up there at the top, and he's going to feel real funny when he's sitting up there at the top. He's, let's go. Oh, shoot, they're down already, and they're running. Oh, man. Boy, howdy, did I mess that one up.
And the fact is, he knew, I don't know if he knew it was the ninjas coming, but he knew somebody was going to come and get those kids or try to kill. Well, I think he told Claire they're going to come and kill the kids or something like that.
So
I don't know.
So Matt is getting ready to fight the ninjas, and Claire discovered the dead dad, and Frank has Karen, and Foggy's just there.
Looking out the window.
Foggy got shot. And that's about it. And now we're ready for the next episode is called 380. So that's our next episode. Good episode though.
380.
Full 360, sir. Just saying.
Math.
Math is hard.
It is. I hate math. I'm not good at it
I
all.
almost forgot what episode we were doing this week. I had to make sure I was watching the right episode.
Okay. Andrew, what is our what are we calling this thing now? Marvel outtakes? Or
hot takes.
Hot takes. Marvel hot takes. What are
So
our
instead
Marvel
of
hot
doing
takes?
yeah, instead of doing questions, I thought it'd be cool to do hot takes. I will say there are a few I sort of agree with
Okay.
potentially. We'll see. So this first one comes from Cam and Focus.
Awesome.
He says, "Mine would be that there are very few MCU films not directed by the Russos that I actually think are pretty good."
Very few. Well, now
Winter Soldier,
did they
Civil
do?
War.
Yeah, I
Those
like
aren't
them.
good.
Yeah, they
No. I think he's saying that
they
they're
did no that aren't by the
that aren't
Russos.
that
So
aren't by
he
the Russos.
yeah, so that are not directed by the Russos that I think are actually pretty good. So he's saying the Russo brothers films are
Are good.
great, they're good. Outside of that, he's saying there's very few films that he thinks are actually pretty good after those four.
I would go with John Favreau. Did an amazing job with the first two Iron Man movies. Taika
Well,
Waititi.
who did Winter Soldier?
I think that was the Russos.
The
Was it?
Russos, that was
That
their
was the
first one,
Russos.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought they just did Infinity Wars and
Oh no, because they did
Endgame.
Civil.
No, no,
They did.
no.
They did Civil War
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to who directs. I
Um.
don't care as
Clearly.
long as it's good.
So I would say John Favreau did good. I would say Taika Waititi did good with Ragnarok.
He's probably got a top 10, I'm sure, that are like very
Joss
good.
Whedon.
And then
I'm
outside of
not.
that,
I'm not a big fan of Joss Whedon, but the first two Avengers movies I really liked. So and those were both him. So
yeah.
Kenneth Branagh. I love the first Thor movie. A lot of
Really?
people. Oh, I really did. I really liked it.
Oh. I didn't hate it. It was okay.
I liked it.
It was better than the
I
second
just
one.
didn't like the way Chris looked.
No,
It's
because
not the worst Thor, I could tell you that.
his hair wasn't long enough. That's what
No,
was
and his
throwing me.
eyebrows were blonde. He wasn't
Yeah,
as in shape.
it was.
I mean, he was in shape, but not
He
like
wasn't in Love and Thunder.
God.
shape.
Like yeah, Love and Thunder. Yeah.
He looked fine to me. It's just the hair color and the eyebrows. I don't know. It was just all off.
And that one scene where he turns into Thor and you've got Natalie Portman going, "Oh my
Right.
God." I was like, "Oh, who did that? That was terrible."
I would have done the
I
same
know.
thing.
Well, Debbie, one thing Cam says that you should agree with is that the Winter Soldier is his favorite MCU film.
Yes.
So he does redeem himself there to you, I guess.
Thank you.
Not my favorite MCU film, but okay. Oh, what's his name that did all three of the Guardians movies? Get James Gunn.
James
Oh,
Gunn,
yeah.
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 Can't believe we forgot about him. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Cam, you're disavowed.
Why don't we just name every MCU movie and say, "Oh yeah, there's that part."
Okay, what else? What else you got?
All
What
right.
other hot takes you
Next
got?
one is from Garrett Jones.
Okay.
He says Ang Lee should never have been assigned as director of the 2003 Hulk film. The 2003 Daredevil movie was quite literally too dark to see anything. And can we please do away with the multiverse storylines? The multiverse has become to the MCU what the Clone Saga was to the Spider Man comics, a long, boring slog of confusion, crap storytelling, and years wasted on the audience having to do homework to keep up with everything.
I think we discussed that already.
Yeah,
As
but
far as
I'd
the
say
multiverse goes.
I don't disagree with this take. I mean,
Um,
the multiverse part, because you do essentially have to watch everything, and if you get behind, it can feel overwhelming to have to get caught up and be like, well, to get this I gotta have to have watched this. um
now the Ang
so
Lee Hulk one, I enjoyed the Ang Lee Hulk, except
Which one was that?
That was the one with
The one with
Nick
the
Nolte and Eric Bana.
yeah, Eric, yeah.
And here's what I loved
Oh,
about that.
Sam Elliott.
Sam
Wasn't he in
Elliott
that one,
and
or
Jennifer
was he? Yeah,
Connelly too. So
yeah.
Jennifer Connelly was perfectly cast. Sam Elliott was perfectly cast. I thought them as Betsy Ross and Thunderbolt Ross was awesome. Was amazing. Eric Bana, maybe. The only problem I had with Eric Bana, and I'm sure I've mentioned this before, is right before he did that movie, he did a little movie called no, actually it was right after he did that movie. He did a little movie called Troy
Mm.
with
Oh,
Brad
yeah.
Pitt. And
Mhm.
when Eric Bana would get mad and Hulk, you could see him doing that. And in Troy, it was the same thing. When he would get mad, he was like, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna turn green. He's gonna turn green. Oh man, Brad Pitt just killed him. Dang it. I liked the Ang Lee Hulk. I thought it was fun. I didn't think it was the worst thing ever.
It's what was cool about it is the way they edited it was to look like a comic book.
Yeah,
So when they
where
would
it had all
switch
the
from
different
scenes,
you
the
had all the different
panels.
screens and panels and everything. See,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and the only casting I did not enjoy was Nick Nolte. I think I would have gotten somebody else to do Absorbing Man, but still, it was fun. I didn't have any issues with it. Daredevil being too dark
To see anything.
to
Not
see
not from
anything,
a violent standpoint. Yeah.
I'll buy that. I didn't like the fact that they didn't put Bullseye in a uniform in a suit, especially after he said that. When he said, "I want a costume," and then it shows him in the next scene and he's wearing the exact same thing. I'm like, what? You didn't get him his costume? What's the deal? What's going on here? And I didn't like the fact that it wasn't, his
Yeah,
costume has the bullseye on his head, and in this one he's got it like scarred into his head. And I'm like, it's a
yeah.
bit much on that, but all right. Now I liked when he would, he was throwing darts at people, and he did the one where he flicked the peanut and he'd go bullseye. I was like, that's cool. Or he hit the fly at the end when he's all in the casts and everything, and he throws the hypodermic needle at it. That was great. And actually, if I recall correctly, if you watch, I think the director's cut of Daredevil was a lot better than the theatrical version. Oh, and it had Kevin Smith in it too.
Yeah.
How do you not
Jon
like Kevin
Favreau
Smith?
too.
And Jon
Jon
Favreau,
Favreau
yeah.
is Augie. Yeah.
And let me tell you, some of the interactions between him and Matt were great. And well, the whole first scene in the coffee bar was amazing, where he tried to switch the mustard with the honey, and he was going to try and make Matt put it in his coffee. And then he gets up to go to Electra and he says, "Excuse me, can I borrow your honey?" And she says, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, could you point it out to me?" And she goes, "What, are you blind? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." I was like, "Hey, that's clever. That's good. I like that. There's nothing
Mhm.
wrong with that." And the kid who was the young Matt Murdock and him jumping around and doing all the handstands and stuff, that was cool. So
Yeah, that's true.
now the fight in the playground, I wasn't a big fan of that between him and Electra.
Mhm.
Oh, and what's his name as Kingpin? I liked him as Kingpin.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I forgot. Oh, he's from the Green Mile. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
remember
yeah,
his
Michael
name.
Clark Duncan
yes,
or something like
Yeah.
that.
yeah. You're
Yeah.
right. He's
Yeah.
passed now. Rest in peace, sir.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked him as Kingpin. I thought he was good.
Mhm.
So anyway,
All right.
anything
The
else?
next, yeah, we have 3 more.
Oh my!
Shorter. They're short. So this
All right.
next one comes from Rhett, and he says Ragnarok actually ruined Thor, and the truly terrible Love and Thunder was just a consequence of that.
No.
So, well, in a
50
sense,
50. I'm 50-50 on this.
I will say that it did, and the only reason that I will say that it did was because they gave Taika Waititi a story, and they said, "Here, tell this story, tell Ragnarok, but you need to make sure that you include this, 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 and this in it, and because it's going to tie to the bigger story, and we need to make it look, good." And he made an awesome film. And he was like, "Oh," and everybody was like, I mean, that's you can talk to any lay MCU fan, and that is most likely their favorite Thor movie. Not to mention that could be in like their top 2 or 3 MCU movies is Ragnarok. Now, that being said, when it came time for Love and Thunder, they said to Taika, it was almost like they said to Taika Waititi, "You did good with Ragnarok. Go nuts. Do Love and Thunder the way you want to do Love and Thunder." And he made it silly.
Ooh.
And
Yeah,
it was like
ah,
that. I think Ragnarok led to the downfall of Thor in a way more of a, he made a great movie and they just kind of gave him free reign and then he ruined it. They let him out too
yeah,
much. So in a sense, I
yeah.
could see that.
And that's why I agree and disagree on this take. Ragnarok, I don't think ruined Thor, but Love and Thunder was a consequence of too much freedom and not enough um,
Not enough
rules
rain.
and stuff. Rain, yeah,
They didn't rein him in.
so, yeah.
So, all right, what you got?
Next one from David Gramillion
Oh,
says
I didn't
Iron
get it.
Man. And David's like, "What? What did I say?" Iron Man had a lousy trilogy.
You are insane. You have taken leave of your senses. The Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. was perfectly cast. Um, Iron Man 2 catches a lot of flack um, because they combine Crimson Dynamo and Whiplash together in one character. But Justin Hammer made that movie and it was great. You had the introduction of War Machine. You introduced what's his name as Rhodey, which was great.
Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle as Rhodey,
Yeah.
which he has carried that role magnificently.
Maybe Thanos, just
Yeah, exactly.
I still agree
First
with
off,
that.
that's terrible.
jeez, Debbie. I'm just kidding.
But then too, Iron Man 3 was, Iron Man 3 gets a lot of flack because it's like, oh well, he was barely Iron Man in that, and it was like, well, yeah, he had everything. That was his Spider-Man moment. If you can't be the hero without the suit, then you don't need to be the hero. That's what he told Spider-Man in Spider-Man Homecoming. I think that is, or something along that line.
Yeah.
And the only
Yeah,
reason
he was
he was
like,
able
if
to
you're
say
nothing
that
without the suit, you don't deserve the suit. Yeah.
exactly, and he had been through that, and that made that line so much more powerful because he had already been through that. He had suffered that. I was somebody without the suit, but I still was able to carry on. So you're crazy, Gramillion. Sorry, can't agree with you on that one.
Our final one comes from Michael. He says, Marvel selling the rights to Spider-Man and affiliates to Sony was the worst idea in the history of Marvel moves.
Yep,
Agree.
Yeah.
completely agree. Especially the way that now
Not necessarily Spider-Man, but the affiliates, I definitely agree with.
well, and the affiliates, that speaks for themselves. They haven't really
Yeah.
put out a good movie since the first Venom movie.
Yeah.
But like the first 3, well, The first 2 Spider-Man movies with Tobey were good. I enjoyed the first
good. Yeah.
I enjoyed the first Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie. The second one was cheesy and corny.
The second one was cheesy, but it gave us one of the best opening scores and sequences in a web slinging in a Spider-Man movie, I'd say.
And then, I mean, I guess technically Sony made did they make the, even though that's
Tom
part
Holland?
of the MCU, they made the
Mhm.
Tom Holland
Yeah.
ones. So, I mean,
Well, the
those
Spider-Verse. Those
across
Spider-Verse
the
movies.
yeah, across the Spider-Verses were good. I don't care what Debbie says, they were good. I thought
Yeah,
Alright.
Debbie.
I like the
Just not
Get
second
my
out of
thing.
here.
I really like
Get outta
the second one. Oh, I'll eat crow on that one because I said initially, I said I really have no desire to see this. I'm not a fan of the animation. I don't like the way it looks. And then I watched it and I'm like, oh my god, I want to see the third one now. So
I
No
still
more
haven't
good
watched
show.
it.
I'll
Whoa. No
oh,
more good looking show now, Debbie.
I will eat crow on that one. I'll have me some humble pie with that one because that one was good. So,
Yeah.
but yes, on the whole, I would say Sony has made the DCEU out of the Spider-Verse. So,
Well, and even on Sony's end, when they bought Spider-Man, it was like 20 something million, 25 I think. But to buy the rights to all the characters, I think was only an additional like 7 or 8 million.
Hmm.
So they could have potentially bought all rights to Marvel characters if they just dished out a
so
couple more
really, if
million.
they sold everything to Disney for let's say 50 million, they're still turning a profit on it.
Oh
Just
yeah.
saying. Just
Definitely.
saying.
Or Disney could just buy Sony and then
Disney will acquire Sony, and then it will all be theirs anyways. It doesn't matter. Anyway, all right. Was that it? That's it for our hot
Yes.
takes. All right
Yep.
then. Debbie.
Nothing too heated. So
No.
turned out to be nice.
Debbie, what do we have for as far as shameless plugs go?
Wednesday we have a new episode of War of the Stars dropping. Hold on, I just seen the title a second ago.
Maybe.
Lore the Rebel Alliance. So evidently
Okay.
lore
Okay.
about
The
Good
Rebel
to know.
Alliance.
the Rebel Alliance.
Debbie's like,
Thursday
in the
we'll be
title.
back with yeah, it's in the title. Thursday we'll be back. We are going to attack Rebels Season 2, The Siege of Lothal, episodes 1 and 2.
Nice.
And then Saturday is Geek Gauntlet. They cover everything. And our friends, the Sith Dominion, they will be having a new show on their channel, their new channel at the Sith Dominion. Go look them up.
Yep.
They'll be debuting their new show and channel tomorrow night at 8.
Oh,
whatever your time is.
We don't have the Acolyte, so I can probably watch it.
Yeah.
I can watch live. I don't have to watch the Acolyte tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Yay!
So I think that's it, unless I'm missing something.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Andrew, do you have anything shameless plug wise?
At the moment, I do not. Outside
Awesome.
of being here Thursday, but Debbie already said that, so. Yeah.
There you go. I will also be here Thursday. Don't forget to go to geeknewsnow.net. Check out all the awesome articles and content we've got over there. Check us out on all the socials, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, X, all that kind of fun stuff. If you're on YouTube, Geek News Now Official, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Mash that little bell for notifications so you know when we do go live. We will see all of you next week right here on MCU Mondays. Y'all all have a great, great week.
What am I supposed to do around here anyway? Sit in a share circle, talk about my feelings? And how would I do that exactly? Because Where the fuck is everyone? It's always just you and Negasonic Teenage longest name ever.
I said no touching.
The first movie made more money than the guy who invented pants. Okay, they can't just dust off one of the famous X-Men. How about that Potts with the giant pigeon wings? What do those do anyway, huh? Carry him 3 feet off the ground to snatch up the nearest muffin crumb? No, 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 no.